Hello students, welcome to the grammar summary part of Unit 3. This is about simple present tense of all the verbs in English except verb to be, how we do it. Okay, so the use, for what we use the simple present tense? To talk about everyday activities, things we do every day, every week, every weekend, every night, every morning. Okay, so those are routine activities, everyday activities. Yeah, and we talk in the simple present tense. For example, do you brush your teeth every day? Yes, I do. I brush my teeth every day. Does your sister sleep every night? Yes, she does. She sleeps every night. Okay, and we can continue with everyday actions that we do. For example, do you study every day? Do you eat every day, or do you have your breakfast every day? Do you shower every day? Okay. Do you take the bus every day, or maybe do you drive to the university every day? Routine activities, everyday activities, those are in the simple present tense. So, here we have a summary of the conjugation of the verbs, okay? We have the subject pronouns, I, we, you, and they, and we have he, she, it in a group, third person singular, okay? When we conjugate any verb, for example, work, study, buy, wash, watch, mix, kiss, and do, with I, we, and you, and they, it doesn't change. The verb doesn't change. It's the same. I work, we study, you buy a car, they wash the car every day, I watch my favorite program every night, we mix, you kiss your cat, I do my homework every day. But when we conjugate any verb except verb to be with the third person singular he, she, and it is different. We have to add an S in some verbs. Yeah. In most of the verbs we add an S for work, eat, stop, read. Okay. But we have other verbs, for example, study. Study ends, okay, in a Y. So we drop the I and we write IES. Verbs ending in Y, preceded by a consonant, change the Y into I and add ES. What happens with by? With those verbs with final Y but preceded by a vowel, we only add an S. Buy, pay, verbs ending in Y preceded by a vowel, only add an S. Okay, we have other group of verbs ending in different consonants. For example, wash, washes, watch, watches, mix, mixes, he kisses, he does, she does, it does. Okay, so for those verbs ending in SH, CH, X, SS, or an O, we add ES. This is the spelling for all the verbs except verb to be. Okay, good. Third person singular for he, she, and it. Okay, so here I present a summary of what we had before. Yeah, it's a summary. 4 rules, okay, of the endings of the third person singular, he, she, and it in the simple present for all the verbs except verb to be. Okay, so I have included a practice for you to do at home, okay, when you have some time. So here we have some verbs that can help you practice, okay? Verb to be and all other verbs, simple present tense, okay? Here we have the verb to be. We are going to compare it with all the other verbs, how we do it. We have a positive statement. Pablo is a student. Subject, a verb, and a complement. The negative statement, Pablo isn't a student. Subject, verb with a negative form and complement. This is the order. And the question, a yes/no question, is Pablo a student? Short answer, yes he is, or no he's not, no he isn't, or no he's not. Okay? So, this verb to be is very similar to the conjugation in Spanish. Very similar. But for all the other verbs in English, we cannot continue doing this. They have a different type of conjugation. For example, with the verb study, Pablo studies in Universidad San Francisco. Subject, verb, and complement. This is the order. Okay, we have a negative here. For negatives, we need an auxiliary verb. Pablo doesn't study in Universidad San Francisco. So we have doesn't with the auxiliary verb and the verb study in the base form. That means without conjugation, no conjugation. For questions, we use the auxiliary verb first. Does Pablo study in Universidad San Francisco? Short answers, yes, he does, or no, he doesn't, or no, he does not. Okay? So, we cannot expect that in English we have the same conjugation of all the verbs like in Spanish. In English, we need an auxiliary verb for questions and for negatives. Okay? Do or does plus subject plus verb and complement for questions. Yes, no questions. Good. So, we have our general rule. For all other verbs, we need an auxiliary verb for negative statements and questions. Okay? Please do not forget. For negative statements and for questions, we need an auxiliary verb. And the auxiliary verb is the verb to do. Do and does. Do for I, you, we, and they. And does for the third person singular. He, she, and it. Lorena eats pizza every day. Positive statement. Does Lorena eat pizza? Question. Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. They study English. Question. Do they study English? Short answer. Yes, they do. No, they don't. My mother washes the dishes. Positive statement. Yes, no question. Does your mother wash the dishes? Yes, she does. Or no, she doesn't. Subject, verb, complement. And for questions, do or does the auxiliary verb first. This is the formula, okay, for yes, no questions. We have a practice here for you to do at home. Choose the correct verb form for each sentence. All the answers of these exercises of this practice we are going to check during the next video conference, okay? That is in 2 weeks, okay? Good. We have more here just to use the correct verb form for each negative and positive sentence. We come here to the WH questions. Okay? In English we have 2 types of questions, yes, no questions, and the WH questions. Why are they called W? Because they begin with a W or an H. Okay? When we use who for persons, what for objects, occupations, what is this? What do you do? What is your job? When for time. When do you study? When do you come to the university? When is your birthday? Where for places. Where is Latacunga? Where is my book? Where is your mother? How often for frequency. How often do you listen to music? How often do you read the news on the newspaper? How many for countable nouns? How many pencils do you have in your pencil case? How many books do you have at home? How much for uncountable nouns? Things that we cannot count. How much money do you have in the bank? How much sugar is in the kitchen? How old for the age? How old are you? How old is your sister? How old is your father? And why? To ask for reasons. Why are you here? Why is your mom in the hospital? Why is your pet on the bed? Okay, so with this in mind, we can make questions, okay, with WH. We can identify the information questions in the sentence, okay? They run in the park on weekends, okay? So, in the park is where? Is a place. On weekends we can use a WH. Which one? When, for time. Very good. So, very easy with that to make the questions. Where do they run on weekends? When do they run in the park? Lorena eats pizza at home. Pizza? What? It's an object, a thing. At home, it's a place. So it's where? What does Lorena eat at home? Where does Lorena eat pizza? And the answer is the statement. Where does Lorena eat pizza? Lorena eats pizza at home. What does Lorena eat at home? Lorena eats pizza at home. And this is the formula, okay? The formula for WH questions. Remember that this structure, we use it with all the verbs except verb to be. We have some practice here to complete the following questions with the verb to be or other verbs in the simple present tense, okay? Where you like to go on holiday? Okay, here we have a verb, like. So we need an auxiliary verb, do or does. We have you, and with you we need do. Where do you like to go on holiday? In the second sentence, do you have a verb? No verb. I cannot see any verb. How old? Your mother. So in this case, we use the verb to be. Your mother, singular, third person singular for she. So how old is your mother? And in that way, you continue with all the other sentences and practice, okay? Good. Let's see if we have something else. Okay, this is the end. Thank you so much. Remember that if you have any questions, please feel free to drop me a note, an email, or in the questions, okay, that we have in Tabla de Contenidos. If you have any question, post it there, okay? See you. Bye-bye.